Hello friends, welcome to Right Clicks with Saravana. A little girl and her father were crossing a bridge which was slightly damaged and a very old bridge. So the father was scared and he asked his daughter to hold his hand, but the daughter said, "You hold my hand." So the father asked, "What is the difference? Whether you holding my hand or me holding your hand?" And the daughter said, "There's a hell lot of difference." What is that? If I hold your hand and if I get into some trouble, then there is a chance that I may lose your hand. I may just leave your hand. But if you are holding my hand, then I will be damn sure that you will never let my hand down and I will never fall down, and that trust is very important. Friend, this is a simple story, but it's all about trust. It's all about trust, and that is what is important in any relationship. So if we should start holding the hands of the loved ones instead of expecting them to come and hold our hands. So today's video is all about the trust and the science behind the trust. Corona pandemic era, work from home has become a new normal, but absolutely it's not normal. It has many advantages. Even without getting into the office, you can work from home, you can manage the situation. That's all fine, but it is having its own ill effects both physically and emotionally. Harvard study says work from home is corroding our trust with each other, especially in the working environment. And the trust is wearing thin. It's affecting the morale of officers. It's leading to increased attrition. We unconsciously interpret that lack of physical contact is a signal of untrustworthiness. In today's virtual world, the miscommunication and the misunderstandings are really increasing. This is leading to the trust deficit, and it's really seriously affecting the relationships both in personal and official life. To trust each other, to trust our colleagues, it's very important to have physical contacts. There are a lot of signals which can come only by physical contacts. It becomes too mechanical in the virtual world. So now in the virtual world, it's through video conferencing or work from home. What is happening is, the senior, the boss thinks like whether our juniors are really working from the home or not. So they start monitoring. They start monitoring through using technologies. So what is happening is, because of this too much of monitoring, it again affects the productivity. The Harvard study says 49% of the employees, they got into more stress because of increased monitoring. So the monitoring is not the solution, and use of too much of technology to monitor is just not the solution. So then what exactly is the science behind this trust? The number one is trust is bi-directional and it's mutual. So what is really important is we need to really understand this fact, and we need to increase our trustworthiness before expecting the trust from the colleague or the partner. Second, any behavioral or cultural change, when it requires lasting changes, it really requires small but repeated reinforcing steps. And trust is no different from this. Trust also requires the small but repeated actions which really be reassuring the colleagues. Third one is the trust building, maintenance, and the repair works differently with different people. So it's not like same size fits all approach. It doesn't work here. Broadly, there are two categories of people based on trust. The number one is automatic trusters. They trust by default. They approach any new relationship with the basic trust as default. And only if something really happens to an extent that, which leads to distrust, so then the relationship gets affected. Otherwise, they always start with trust. But it is not to be confused with blind trust. But the benefit of doubt is always given to the other partner. So, and it's basically trust by default. And the second is evidence-based trusters. So this set of people will never go for trust by default, but they will always start with doubts. But once it is proved that this person is trustable, then there is no doubt about it. Once the other party has proven their trustworthiness, so then the relationship gets so strong. Only in case of serious breach of trust only this trust will get broken. So friends, takeaways from this video. Number one, trust is the most important foundation stone for any relationships, whether it is in your official capacity or in personal capacity. Second, in the increasing remote way of working, especially in this corona pandemic situations, we always need to understand the element of trust really requires physical contact. Third one is, in any kind of relationships, instead of expecting the trust coming from the other partner, we need to understand that it's very important to increase our own trustworthiness first. So then only our other colleagues and the partners will start trusting us. Fourth one is, one size fits none. Trusting is the most important policy we all need to adopt. We need to understand different people have different ways of trusting. As I just mentioned, there will be some people who are automatic trusters, trust by default. But then there is another set of people, they are always like evidence-based trusters. So they will always be, doubting people first. But once their trustworthiness is proved, so then definitely they go for a very strong bond. So it's important to understand your own and your colleagues' way of trusting people. Accordingly, we need to adapt ourselves. So friends, trust is the most important part of any relationships. Let's not take it for granted. We need to nurture the relationships, which primarily is based on trust. I hope you like this video. If so, you can subscribe to this channel. Till I see you next week. Bye-bye.